Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the vlog. So in today's episode we're back on the MOT TT after a couple of weeks absence because of the delay of the airbags, but we finally got those in and you'll see those in a second. However, as we're getting the car ready for an MOT, there was some drama, and it is to do with headlights once again. Me, Audi and headlights, I don't know why. We have so many issues with them. Anyway, we're going to see that today in this episode, and it's coming up right now. So we are back on the TT, and in this box here we have at last our two rear seat belts. Now I had to buy a brand new one, so this one here is a brand new one. This one I bought second hand. The reason why I had to buy a brand new one was anything coming from Europe at the moment is subject to custom clearance tax, and I ordered two seat belts and I waited a month only for them to be returned because they weren't sent with the right paperwork. So it was returned to sender and I couldn't wait any longer, and so here we go. So we bought this, and this was not cheap, trust me. Fortunately this one was in the UK, but that's the only one available. You think a car like this that's been out since 2014 that there'll be numerous parts, but rear seat belts isn't one of the bits that you can get for this car. Anyway, we've got the seat belts, let's get them in, and then that's one of the two jobs that we need to do to complete this car. Right, so we're in the car now, and as you can see from the dashboard, we got our airbag light on. We've just reset the system. We're now going to run VCDS and do a total scan on the car. So let's run that and see what we pick up. Right, so that's all the codes cleared. They're still red here because we need to flush this page out. Now the big one. So you see the airbag light, that's this one here. That's the one we want to go out. If we've cleared all the faults, then that bag should go out. So let's take a look at the screen. Okay, so this is the moment now. So we're going to go into airbags. Let's take a look at the fault code. So we've got 11. I'm assuming that we're going to have one because of the pyro fuse in the boot. That's the only one that I haven't replaced, but everything else should be done. So let's clear them and see what happens. Here we go, clearing the faults. Okay, it says no fault found. That's done, and go back. Let's go in again and read. Oh, we still got 3 seats. Look at that. Igniter for seatbelt tensioner driver's side. Resistance low. Igniter for seatbelt tensioner passenger side. I wonder what that is. Igniter for battery interrupt, right, so we know what that is. We know what the battery interrupt is, that's the one we're expecting. But the igniter for seatbelt tensioner, passenger side and driver's side. Let's clear again and see what happens. Okay, done. I'm going back, read codes, they're still there. Okay, so we need to investigate and see what those are.
The next morning.
It's now the next day, and the error that we saw on the screen that you've just seen a minute ago with the two front seat bag pre-tensioners, the resistance that was low, that did cause me some concern because those are replacement seat belts. So let me tell you what I was about to do. I literally was on the phone to Audi because I figured, well, they're second-hand seat belts, let's just bite the bullet, get some new seat belts in the front, and then that will solve the problem. £662 is what I was about to spend, and I decided just as I was about to give Audi my number to just hold back and just try once again. And we fixed the problem. The problem was a very simple fix. What it was on the top of the seat belts, or not the top of the seat belts, the top of the connectors that go onto the seat belt, there's a little orange tab, and those tabs weren't sitting correctly. Very, very important. If they don't sit correctly, what happens is that it sends a low resistance error to the ECU. So it is seeing the seat belt, but it's not. Because that clip is not fully engaged and that clip locks it into place. That's why the orange clip is there. It then sends that low resistance warning. Both seatbelts had exactly the same thing. Even though I thought I pushed them down properly, they weren't in place. So having revisited that, and I saw a hint on that on some of the forums, hence the reason why I thought I'd try that first. I've saved myself £662. Okay, good. Now we've got one more error in the car that we got to fix, and that's to do with the battery, the resistor, the fuse in the back. That's the last fuse that we need to change now. The resistance on that is too high. So that's the cutout fuse that kills the engine when the vehicle has had an incident. And unless you replace that, the airbag's lights will stay on. So we need to get that out. We're going to do it right now. So here's the module here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off these three cables here so we can release the whole thing. It's only a little fuse in the back here, but I think if I take it off, I'll be able to get the part number and then we'll see about getting that, probably from Audi. It's going to be quicker, and then we can then replace that and then clear that last error. Now here's the part in question. So this is the bit that's actually gone here. So this is the fuse. Here we go. This is the fuse here. So two bolts will hold it in, but I'm not sure whether you just replace the fuse or whether the whole piece comes. I'm going to find out, and hopefully I can get this in for next week, because this car has got an MOT on Wednesday, but before then it's going to have its windscreen replaced, so we need to get this sorted really so we can get that bit done. So let's see if we can find that. Right, so we've got the panels in now, so both this side and the other side is in. The seat's in, just needs to be tucked in properly. I've left it kind of loose at the moment, but it's in place, and I need to just do these panels here, but we're in a good place. So the only thing that needs to be done on the car is the windscreen. So that smashed glass over there, that needs to be changed, and this one piece now that I'm about to show you, and this little fuse here. So we just got to replace this fuse. It's about £30. Need to order one from Audi, without this I can't clear the airbag code. So I'll get one of those. Hopefully it'll come before Tuesday, because this car, like I said, is in for an MOT, and then we can replace that and get the car sorted.
72 hours later.
Okay, so look what arrived today. This is our little fuse, our little pyro fuse. Here we go. It's a new one, and no shaky. That's a giveaway sign when it's gone. So let's get this in the car, and then we can take this car for an MOT. Well, we first of all got to clear the codes, then we can take it for an MOT. So let's see if this works. So just before we fit the fuse, I've got National Windscreen coming to replace the windscreen, and he's just arrived now. So let's watch him put the screen in. Okay, so that's the windscreen sorted, and I took advantage of the fact that the car was out to put the fuse in, because it's just a reversal of me taking it off. Right, so now let's go and clear the codes, and let's make sure that we've got no other airbag codes in the car before we take it to the MOT, because we are running out of time. We've only got about an hour left to go, so let's go and do that now. Right, so the fuse is in, so let's go to our trusty VCDS. Okay, so now that VCDS is all loaded up, now I have cleared these codes, so I'm just going to check to make sure that they remain clear. Yep, we are going to clear it, and let's run back again and just make sure, and there we go, airbags are now clear. So that should be it for this car. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to run a complete diagnostic to see what it picks up. Now there is one code that we will never get rid of, and that's the crash code, to say that the car has been in an accident. That will always remain in the car. It's a safety feature, so that any owners know that the car has been in a crash. But of course, if we do sell this car, and we will sell this car one day, that's going to be obvious, because I'm going to tell them that this is a Cat S, so they'll know. So let's do a complete scan, and then we can see if there's anything that needs to be cleared. Okay, so as you can see on screen, we have 5 codes that are remaining. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a clear all DTCs, and then let's see what remains. There should be the HVAC, because the air conditioning is topping up, and like I said, the code for the crash sensor, to say that it's been coded. Let's have a check now and see what we've got left. And there we go. So we just got our 2 codes, which is our HVAC, and I'll show you the crash sensor one so you can see what I'm talking about. So that means that if this car ever goes to Audi, you can see the crash shutdown has been activated. There is no way to shut that down, and it's a safety thing anyway, because it tells the dealer whether or not this car has been in an accident, and for the new buyer to be aware. Right, excellent. So let's go and get this car for an MOT. In fact, there's one more check that we need to do, and that's on the dashboard, and we're going to do that right now. Right, okay, so let's give this car a start. I'm going to reset the dashboard now. Lovely Audi tone. Right, let's fire up, and there we go. All the lights are off, including the old handbrake one. There we go. So now we're going to take this car for its MOT.
2 hours later.
So I've just had a phone call from the MOT station, and they've said to me that the car has failed the MOT on 2 things. One, the battery box wasn't connected, and that's my bad, because I hadn't tightened down the battery before I taken it for the MOT, so it's failed at that. That's twice that's happened now. But the other one was a little bit more concerning, and that was that the headlights, the aim of the headlights were too low, and they tried to adjust it with the little plastic adjuster on the side, but the headlights only came up a certain amount and they couldn't get it to go any higher. So that meant that there's obviously a problem because both of the headlights were way too low. He said it wasn't even close to their setting. So after spending a number of hours researching the problem on the internet, I finally succumbed and decided, well, I'm going to have to take a look at the manual. After trying VCDS and trying to set it electronically, I was able to get the headlights to go up, but they wouldn't stay in that position. They kept on coming back down again and resetting, even doing a basic adjustment or headlight adaptation. It kept on cycling and going through the process, but it wasn't raising the headlights. So I got out the old trusty Audi manual. So on screen now you can see the manual here showing us how to the adjustment, and sure enough it was right in front of me. So here you have two adjusters. This is the one that the MOT was trying to adjust, this one here, and of course the one that you need to adjust is right here. So you can see it right here. That's the adjuster, which is down a hole. Now when you look on this manual, it looks pretty straightforward, but let me show you what it looks like in reality. So this is what the MOT was adjusting, and I was adjusting this as well, trying to get the headlight to go up. No joy. But after looking at the Audi manual, the hole in question is just there. That is the hole, and down below you can just see, you can see it there, the white plastic. That is what adjusts the headlight up and down. So after adjusting that, it made a massive difference. The headlight went up, and I was able to then take the car for another test and then get the MOT tested. So it just goes to show, guys, read the manual and you'll go far. So with that now done, the car has now had its second MOT and has passed. So this part of the project is now complete. So the Mark III has finally passed its MOT and it is legal. We can drive it around, and boy, it's a great car. But there are some jobs that need to be done outside of the MOT, such as the brakes, and there's a few mods coming up that you're really going to enjoy. So that's in next week's episode. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe down here if you're a casual viewer, and click on that bell notification so you will notify whenever we release another video. And if you like this video, give it a like, because we'd like to get to 1,000 likes a day, and if we can, that would be fantastic. In the meantime, guys, have a great week and we will see you next week.